Traveling as a vegan may seem like a really daunting and scary thing, but I'm here to tell you that it's totally not. I've traveled the world as a vegan, and I can tell you it's a whole lot easier than you may think. And in this video, I just want to share some tips that I personally find to be really helpful, and I hope that they will help you too. I know I've had quite a few people ask for this video in particular. Let me know. I'm a truck driver. How do I eat vegan? I am going to visit family that's not vegan. What do I do? All those things will be covered in this video, so let's get into it. The first tip that I have for you is to just research where you're going. So that could be researching where the closest grocery stores are to you. It doesn't have to be a Whole Foods. If you're in another country, it's probably not a Whole Foods at all. But you can research where there's a grocery store. You can research if there's farmers market. And you can also research on Happy Cow to find out if there's any vegan restaurants or vegetarian restaurants that are vegan friendly, or any regular restaurants that are friendly to a vegan lifestyle. If by chance you're going to a restaurant that doesn't seem to have any vegan options at all, it's totally okay. You can just talk to your waiter, be kind, don't be aggressive, and just ask him, hey, I'm a vegan, there's no real options here, but I'm sure that you guys have all these kinds of ingredients that we can put together something. So I would just, come to the waiter with some suggestions. Say, hey, I see that you have salad with fish on it. Can I have the salad, not the fish on it, but maybe if you have some potatoes, I can have that on the side. Or if you're in a place where you want to make a burrito, but you don't see a vegan option, you can say, hey, can I have some of those beans, the rice? Can you put some potatoes in there instead of the meat? Substitutions are totally great. If you think that you're being kind of annoying or you don't want to ask because you're afraid, don't feel that way. You're going to the restaurant, you're paying for food to the people who own the restaurant, and their job is to give you something that is enjoyable and accommodate. People with allergies or dietary restrictions are accommodated too, and this is just another thing, it's not really an allergy or a dietary restriction, but it's a personal choice. 9 times out of 10, people are willing to help you out and to accommodate what you need so that you have an enjoyable meal. Another tip as far as researching where you're going, if you can't find a vegan restaurant, which nowadays is almost impossible, I feel. I feel like there's vegan or vegetarian options everywhere. Go for Mexican, Thai food, or Indian. All of those have some kind of thing that you can put together that will make a really good vegan dish. My second tip is if you're staying with somebody, let them know that you're vegan. If you weren't a vegan before and they've gone grocery shopping and bought, a full cow for you to eat while you're there, as well as milk and eggs, then you're gonna cause more of drama than as if you let them know ahead of time. Hey, listen, I'm eating a vegan diet now. That means I don't have any animal products. How about this? When I get there, we can go to the grocery store together and we can buy our things that we want to eat throughout the week, offer to make a couple meals, and get them excited about the cooking process without it seeming like a really negative thing that you're bringing up. Get them excited about trying some new food without it having a connotation of, oh, I'm vegan now and I'm sorry, I'm not going to eat what you cook me. There's always a way to add drama to a situation or take it away, and I've definitely been guilty of adding my fair share of drama, but I think now at this point in the game, 9 years along as a vegan, that I just know the easier you can make it, the less drama you can make it, the better. When I'm traveling on a plane, I always like to bring my own things, but also if you're on a really long flight where they provide a meal, there's a vegan option. Is it always the best thing in the world? No. But I always order a vegan option if I'm going overseas or going on a really long trip, because if worse comes to worse and I've eaten through all of my food or something happened and I didn't have enough food to eat, then I have this airplane meal as a backup, and it's a vegan option, so I know I'm covered. And that just leads me to my next tip, which is to pack your own food. I'm gonna go into depth in this a little bit as far as road trip travels or car travels. I full on pack everything. You don't have to go that extreme. You can just make a couple things ahead if you like. Some things that I like to make ahead to bring with me either in the car or on a plane are things that I can easily access without making a giant fanfare. If I'm squished between two very large people and I'm in the middle seat and I need to spread out my whole shebang to get my food going, it's not gonna work. What will work are things like hummus, which I will keep in a small container, cut up vegetables, carrots, celery, bell peppers, cucumbers, anything like that that you can dip. I always cut up a bunch of lettuce as well, because I always feel like if I don't have the space to like put a plate out and make a salad, I can put a bunch of lettuce in a container and I can dip it into the hummus. I like to make any kind of little spread or dressing that I can do. Another tip that I use as far as bringing food with me is bringing salad in a jar. Mason jars are so versatile because if I bring one mason jar and I bring a salad in it, I pile all my veggies into the jar, I can easily just stick my fork in there and eat it in a very confined space. Then, once my mason jar is done, I rinse it out either on the road or in the airplane bathroom, and I just put the lid back on and stick it back into my bag. Then, later in my travels, I can use that as a reusable cup, either if I want to go get a latte or if I want to get a smoothie. I'm reducing the amount of single-use plastic when I come with my own jar, and that's a really versatile thing to bring. Of course, you can bring small Tupperware. I love my glass Tupperware as well for the same reason. I normally bring like one multi-purpose size, and I can use that over and over for different things in my trip. If you don't want to bring all of that, I would just suggest to bring at least one mason jar. Fill it with something for the first time that you're going to eat and then reuse it throughout your trip. Other things that you can bring are rice cakes. Rice cakes are really great. Peanut butter, nut butter, almond butter. I like Lara bars are really fun. They're really simple to bring. Just a handful of ingredients, very simple, and those are great when you're on the go and needing something quickly. I use those a lot when I'm rehearsing for a show and I don't have a lot of time. I can just take a bite as I go. Same goes for travel. Take a bite as you go, move on to the next plane, train, or automobile. I always like to have something kind of crunchy or salty while I am on the plane. So rice cakes are really great for that, but also any kind of vegan chip or kale chip that you might like, maybe a vegan chocolate, just those kind of things that are really snacky that are gonna get you through. Dried fruit is a great option, trail mix, even whole fruits like apples and bananas are totally fine. You can bring those with you to the airport, in the car, all of that. As far as car travel and packing your own things, that's a whole nother monster in my case. You can go with what I just explained and it's totally fine and easy, but if you're in the car and if you want to, something that I would recommend is having a few essentials with you. One would be a small cutting board. You can throw it in the back of your car, or if you're a trucker, you can have that behind your seat and in your kind of sleeping area. A sharp knife, which is good if you're solo traveling also, just for your own protection, but you can use it to cut fruits and veggies as you go. You can use the cutting board as a plate, which is awesome, and also a table on your lap, so that's something that I highly recommend having. I always carry my Vitamix with me if I'm in a car trip. If I'm going on a car trip, a Vitamix is something that I can make soups and smoothies in the hotel, so I can make sure that I'm getting a really large smoothie for breakfast, say, and then I can just prepare my whatever I decide to have for lunch, and then when I get to another hotel at night, I can make a full-on soup, a warm soup out of the Vitamix. And so that is something that I always take if I can. If you don't want to take a Vitamix, you absolutely don't have to, but I do recommend having at least a knife and a cutting board if you're on a car kind of travel. And like I said, either a mason jar or one of those kind of glass Tupperwares that you can shut. You can have stuff as you travel, and also it gives you some preparation point for wherever you end up staying overnight. And my last tip is to opt for grocery stores over heading to a restaurant when you can. I mean, grocery stores are great because even if they're not organic, you're gonna find something that you can eat as a vegan. Grocery stores over stopping at a fast food place are always an awesome option. I know that's not always the case. You're not always going to find a grocery store, but if you're traveling through a town and you see a grocery store, stop. Get your fruits, get your vegetables. You can always just pop out your cutting board in the back of your car, chop up a couple things, and you have a meal rather than trying to head to McDonald's and get the easiest option. Go to a grocery store. A lot of times, even if you're passing through a small town, they gotta have a grocery store. So I would absolutely recommend going to that over going to a fast food location and kind of pulling your hair out, not getting what you need as a healthy vegan. So those are my tips for not only surviving travel, but thriving while you travel and sticking to a vegan diet for the reasons that you've chose to go vegan. Trying to accommodate for somebody else and putting yourself in a position where you feel uncomfortable, or you're like, I don't want to eat meat, I don't want to eat dairy, and I feel like I'm being forced to. Just, let go of that. You are your own person, you make your own decisions, and if you explain to people nicely and gently why you're doing something, or you offer to give them something, most people are going to, even if they don't understand, they'll be like, okay, I get it, you're serious about doing this, and they kind of start to leave you alone after some time. And there's no big deal. I think the best way to make a change and to stick to your changes is to lead by a silent example. And then if somebody asks you about it, then of course talk about it. But you know, it's not drama filled. It's just, you know, the way that you are and the way that you eat, and there's really nothing wrong with that. If this is the decision that you have made, then you can do it in any kind of location. Traveling, staying at home, whatever. Even being in third world countries, I have been able to eat vegan. A lot of third world countries have rice and beans. A lot of third world countries have fruits and vegetables, even in some kind of market situation. Are you going to be eating everything you want to eat? Probably not, but that's okay. You're still gonna be able to stick to a vegan diet and you're going to do it successfully. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe if you're not already and give it a like if you enjoyed my tips in this video. I make videos every Wednesday on vegan lifestyle. I do recipes and sometimes reviews and tutorials. So I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.